Yes, come on in the room. Welcome to Nicole Presents a Conversation with Raven Williams. I'm super excited to connect with Raven once again. We first met years ago when we were kids in high school, and the universe aligned it so that we could reconnect years later. And we collaborated in this book club. And we've been attached since then. I've definitely shared some amazing experiences with Raven, and I've got an opportunity to hear her story, which is why I felt as though it would be awesome if she could share it with you all. So with all of that being said, Raven, thank you for joining me.
Hi, happy to be here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for this energy exchange. Can you start by telling us about yourself, where you from, and how your upbringing has influenced where you are today?
I am from Decatur, Georgia. My family is from the DMV area, so I moved to the DMV area around ninth grade. I would say that my upbringing has influenced where I am now in a lot of ways, considering that I'm the only person in my family who practices yoga and spirituality. I was looking for love inside of myself, whereas I come from a family where, it's all about material things and it's all about just something that's not as deep as what I was looking for. So when I started to realize that I wasn't going to find that within my family, within the fold, I started to branch out. And as I branched out, I realized that the world is so vast and there's so much to discover and everything is within our reach. And I was kind of taught growing up that, you're in this box. This is what you can get. This is what you got. And this is how it's going to go. So redefining that is kind of how I ended up where I am now. So that's how my upbringing definitely aided in that. I definitely would say that I am happy to have branched out because discovering yourself is just so important and not relying on that foundational crutch that we tend to rely on just based off what we were told.
Absolutely. The thing that amazes me about you is that you wear so many different hats. You're a mother, you are a yoga instructor, you are a nutritionist. How did you begin on that nutrition journey? I'm quite interested in hearing about that, because I think that's one of the things that I noticed that you were into years ago. I was like, wow, this is dope, because I was kind of like learning certain things myself. So you definitely inspired me with that.
Definitely. Well, for me, yoga was the catalyst for nutrition for me. In undergrad, I was a yoga instructor and I had a lot of clients, and my clients would always ask me and just automatically assume that because I was a yoga instructor, I also ate well, which I did not. I was in undergrad. I couldn't afford it. So I would have my clients ask me questions and I would just be like, I really don't eat well. So I started to feel kind of ignorant in those conversations. And I was hosting a youth camp at a church, a 3-day youth camp at a church. And after the camp was over, a mom came to me and told me that her daughter was overweight and she wanted me to meal prep for her daughter. She was going into high school and she didn't want her daughter to be picked on in high school. So they wanted to get her weight under control. And I was like, well, I'm really not certified to do that. So that was the catalyst for me to say, okay, no, I'm doing my clients an injustice by not integrating health and wellness and nutrition into breath and movement and yoga. So I was like, let me just go ahead and get master certified in this so that I won't be ignorant the next time someone asks me this question.
Wow. Okay. So yoga was pretty much the motivating force in that whole realm of you taking that extra step to actually become a certified nutritionist, which is so dope. How else has yoga impacted your life spiritually, emotionally, mentally, financially?
Yeah. So, man, yoga is my baby. Like, I am genuinely passionate about yoga. And I feel like in every area, spiritually, emotionally, financially, it has balanced me. As I found balance on the mat, I would take that into my daily life. I think that yoga is such a powerful thing to tap into, because people don't realize that the mind being at peace and finding stillness. In stillness, I truly believe that you find courage and you find passion. And I think we as a people, we underestimate stillness because we're always so busy. And so for me, yoga gave me stillness. As a mom of 3 under 3, I mean, even before my children, I've been doing yoga for about 9 years now. And I think that it just took me into a place that forced me to turn inward, where we go through daily life, avoiding ourselves. We're on social media. We're just so thrown into just the world. And we forget that there's just this stillness in us that we need to honor. So I think that for me, that's when yoga comes in. It helps me to tap in. It gives me that moment where I can put my to-do list to the side. My whole chaotic life just goes on pause. And whether it's 10 minutes of yoga or whether it's a full hour flow, I'm able to tap into myself and honor myself and wherever I am. And I think that just that whole feeling is underestimated. So when it comes to mentally, I just got out of a domestic violence relationship. I was in a domestic violence relationship for about 5 years. And spirituality and yoga gave me strength that I didn't know I had. So in those moments where I would be against myself, my self-esteem was low, when I tapped into my mat, I felt like I could fly. And so in those moments, I would literally disappear from my husband, disappear from just the whole situation. And I would find joy in something that got everything but joyous. So I think that mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, it just makes you tap in. And then once you tap internally, you come into something so big and so authentic that financially you just start running into opportunities because you turned inward and you're not searching for it outside of yourself. So once you turn inward and you tap in and you're like, oh, what? And then you realize like you got opportunities knocking at your door.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. One thing that I am learning as I incorporate yoga in my day-to-day routine, it's a ritual for me now, is that it's medicine. It really is medicine on so many different levels. There's so many different techniques and ways that it's just, for those of you who are joining us tonight, who are watching and who maybe thought about trying yoga, whether you're a man, whether you're a young adult, woman, mother, grandmother, whatever, Raven, what can you say are some benefits of actually incorporating yoga into your day-to-day routine?
Oh, there are so many benefits. I mean, yoga balances your metabolism. So if you tend to have an overactive metabolism or underactive metabolism, yoga helps you kind of find that center. Also, blood flow, the blood that runs through your body, that circulate, that moves you, that we often overlook. It helps with blood flow. So if you find that you have anything like hypertension, blood clots, diabetes, I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. Yoga will help to reinforce proper blood flow. That's, I think, one of the most important elements of yoga. Also, again, if you can find balance on your mat, you can find balance on your life. That's one of my favorite quotes. So yoga brings balance. It helps you to remember to breathe. A lot of us, we don't sit up straight naturally. We spend so much time crunched over computers. We spend so much time in front of our phone with our head and our neck. Yoga helps to remind you that your neck is an extension of your spine and you're one fluid being. You are not a bunch of different disjointed parts, which is kind of how we jerk ourselves around all day, forgetting that we're one fluid being and it all moves together. So there's the benefits of just flexibility. And a lot of people think of flexibility and they think of, oh, I can do headstands. Oh, I can jump into these different poses, but everybody is different and everybody has limits, and you're not going to necessarily fly into those positions. But what yoga does as far as flexibility is it helps your spine, it helps you to sit straight. And when you sit up straight, you elongate your life because you're not hunched over. Things like scoliosis and different spinal disorders that you come into as we get into older age, your joints and your muscles are important. Regardless of whether you're 300 pounds or 90 pounds, it doesn't matter. Yoga reinforces your body to sit up straight, to remember who you are, and to remember that there's power in posture. And I think that remembering that every day, that there's power in posture, there's power in remembering, oh, I'm slouched over, let me sit up straight. Or remembering that, let me rotate my neck around a few times. Or remembering that there's power in your nerves, and maybe just practicing a mantra and saying to yourself an affirmation and speaking life over yourself. I think that yoga reinforces that on a daily basis.
Absolutely. I mean, when you put it like that, how could you not want to try it? Yes. Okay. What would you say your life's mission and purpose is?
I think that life's mission and purpose is to remind everyone that we are light and we return to the light. And so in your daily life, you want to be the light. And I think that is my sole goal, is just to remind people, all people, men, women, children, but especially women, because I feel like there is healing in the world in the palm of a woman's hand. So I feel like if we just remember that we are light and we radiate that light off onto people, this world would be such a better place to live in, because it's amazing to think that we overcomplicate everything in life when it's really just as simple as, you are my reflection, sis, and I am yours. Mm-hmm. And everything that I put off onto you radiates back onto me. So in everything I do, whether you're my enemy or my best friend or my coworker, I radiate off onto you what I want you to radiate off onto me. And it sounds so simple, but I think that that's my ultimate life goal, is to remind people how simple it really is. I spent a lot of my life making it more complicated and looking for it outside of myself. And the moment that I started to radiate light, everything around me became light. Mm-hmm. It amazes me because this whole time I've been living in darkness and I didn't even know. So I think my major goal and purpose is to pull back the curtain for people and help them to realize that you're light. And in that light, there's so much that you can do for the world, but you have to embody your light. And it's going to look different than your light or my light or anyone else's light. It's all yours, and you can manipulate it and do whatever you want with that light once you first acknowledge your darkness. Mm-hmm. And then radiate your light, because it starts with that. And I think that is so important. So through my brand and through my everyday living, that's what I try to embody. Like, we're light, be light.
Light. We are
yes,
light. Yes,
we are light.
Absolutely. Speaking of your brand, can you tell us about your movement, Find Your Light?
Absolutely. So that was the perfect catalyst for
wasn't it?
It's an accident, but yeah. So Find Your Light originally started as Find Your Light Momma, because I am a mama 3, and that is the number one hat that I wear. I'm a mama 3 under 3, and I know that a lot of my friends and colleagues, we all struggle to find that balance between being a mom and being a woman. And I think in that, I was like, okay, so what is it? I'm dim. And that was what I felt. I felt dim. I felt like I was drowning in my children's lights, which is wonderful because their lights can be invigorating and empowering, but you forget about yourself as an individual. And so as I began to forget about myself and I started to see that the light in the moms around me was dim as well, I was like, No, find your light, mama. Like, you are light too. You matter. You know, we're cultivating and growing our seeds. And that kind of branched off into, but wait, not just moms, not just women, all of us, we're all light, and it's a beautiful thing. So I started Find Your Light, and I actually got certified in Kemetic Yoga recently because I practiced Hatha yoga for about 8 years, 9 years before I even realized there's a yoga for my people. So when I realized that there was a yoga for my people, I was like, oh my gosh, I need this. And then I need also Hatha yoga, which is a totally different branch, has a whole different life of its own. And I think that for me, it was learning that there was a branch of yoga for my people and integrating that into the entire fold of what I was trying to do. So I have so many different things that go into the Find Your Light movement, because the mantra that I use, that I affirm onto all of my clients is find your light, because it's what we're made of. Mm-hmm. And it's so important that I reinforce that over and over and over again, and that into people. So as the business grew and as my clientele grows, I started to realize that was the one mantra that stuck. So before I knew it, one affirmation that I just spoke in all of my sessions became my slogan. And it was like, oh, find your light, because it's what we're made of.
I love that. I love that you are able to create that for yourself first, and then for so many other men, women, and children. And I want to thank you for coming here with me and sharing this space. Can you tell us how we can connect with you, where we can find you online, what upcoming workshops and events you have?
Awesome. So I have a chakra aligning meditation coming up really, really soon. I'm going to be giving specific mantras, affirmations, and yoga movements to align with chakra. That is definitely coming up. That'll be March 17th. You can find me on Facebook at Find Your Light Momma. You can find me at www.findyourlightmomma.com. You can find me on Instagram at YogiOfLight. And yeah, so I have so many workshops, so many different Zoom meetings. I'm going to start doing a free yoga class every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you guys, it'll be streaming from Instagram originally at YogiOfLight, and then I'll be crossing it over to Facebook as well as putting it on my site. I'll also be launching my YouTube channel, YogiOfLight, coming soon, where I'll have pre-recorded sessions to inspire people to do quick spurts of yoga. So I'll have videos that are no longer than 10 minutes that you can just take a moment away from your day and do a 10-minute flow. Some of them will be on the ground, so they'll be beginner friendly, they'll be senior friendly, they'll be children friendly, because with this pandemic that we have going on, we have to remember to get our kids away from those screens, because they're spending a lot more time in front of that blue light.
Yes.
So it's important that we inspire them to pull away from the screen and get moving. So I'll have 30-minute flows for children on there. So yeah, you guys just stay tuned.
I'm so excited for you. I encourage everyone watching this event to check Raven out. All of her information, her Facebook, her website, everything will be located in the description box of this video. If you would like to connect with me, feel free to, again, look at the description box of this video. Visit www.RebelAssemblage.com. We got jewelry, we have virtual events. You need to manifest some things. We have vows, we have candles. Raven, thank you again for spending time with me. It is always amazing connecting with you, and I look forward to doing it a lot more. So everybody watching this event, this has been a conversation with Raven Williams. I appreciate your time and your energy. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.